welcome to the first video on this channel. I wanted to make a YouTube purely just based around all the books I've read and the recommendations that I want to give to you and the best books I've read this year. So this first video will just be talking about one book in particular. It is the best book I've ever read. Now, I've only read 2 books by this author, so there's still chance for this to change. It's part of a series, but you don't have to read the other books in the series. I think there's a couple of characters that just continue on throughout. Obviously, the previous books were mentioned. It's not a necessity to read the entire series, unless I was missing something, but either way, it is still the best book I've ever read. I've only started reading from August. I think I picked up Verity as my first book, and that just got me in. I've read 14 books in September. I wanted to do a whole video just about all the books I've read in September, but because I'm halfway through moving house at the moment, I don't have most of them in my room. I've only got the new ones that I've bought. Every time I have spare time, I will sit and read. At the moment, I'm reading 13 by Steve Kavanagh, because I did the same thing with the Eddie Flynn series. I read Witness 8 when that came out, and I didn't realise that was book 8 in the series. But that's one that you once again don't have to read the entire series to understand it, because they do go into the backstory in the book as well. So the book I wanted to talk about today is a new book. I don't know when it came out. It's only available in hardback at the moment. The hardback edition is available to buy from Waterstones for $18.99, and it will be the best $18.99 you've ever spent. So looking at the Waterstones website now, if you didn't want to spend £19 on a book, obviously it is very expensive for one book. The paperback version will be released on the 27th of February next year for £9.99. Again, still, books are so expensive now. If you haven't been into the work, if you're from the UK and you haven't been into the works, that is the best shop for books. They don't have much of a selection, but they do 3 books for £6. Like, that's just insane. I think I've bought everything I want to read from there, so I'm kind of stuck at the moment. I went to Waterstones Saturday and brought two more books, and Frida McFadden's new book from the works, which I will do a separate video about because I really enjoyed that book. So the book that I want to talk about today is The Family Experiment by John Marrs. This book, I don't know what I was expecting, but I didn't want it to end. It was incredible. I saw this book when I was just having a look on the Waterstones website trying to find something for my birthday, and I was like, I need this. I only read part of the synopsis and I was like, yes, I need this. So this is what the book looks like. Very clean, very nice, very futuristic, just from the front cover. So the back of the book, well, technically the inside of the book, says, some families are virtually perfect. The world's population is soaring, creating overcrowded cities and economic crisis, and in the UK, breaking point has arrived. A growing number of people can no longer afford to start families, let alone raise them. But for those desperate to experience parenthood, there is an alternative. For a monthly subscription fee, clients can create a virtual child from scratch, accessing them via the metaverse and a VR headset. To launch this new initiative, the company behind Virtual Children has created a reality TV show. It will follow its contestants as they raise a virtual child from birth to the age of 18 in a condensed nine-month time period. The prize, the right to keep their virtual child or risk it all for the chance of a real baby. Set in the same universe as John Marrs' novel The Marriage Act and bestseller The One, The Family Experiment is a dark and twisted thriller about the ultimate Tamagotchi, a virtual baby. On page 20, my jaw was dropped. After the first chapter, I literally ran downstairs and I had to tell my mum about it. She didn't care at all, but I was like, Mum, look. Obviously I'm not going to spoil anything, but it follows 6 families who are all in this competition to win their child. Obviously some very dark and twisted things happen, and there are just so many twists throughout this book. I think it was page like 80 I was like, whoa. It's just, you're not expecting it. There's one family, I believe, that was from The Marriage Act or The One. They're the books I haven't read and I really want to read after reading this one. So the book is quite big. It's 450 pages roughly, and it took me a few sittings to get through, but I was trying to drag it out as much as possible because I just didn't want it to end. I love this so much, and yeah, it's the best thriller I've read. I've read a lot of Frida books, and compared to this, the detail that this book goes into is so good. Like, you can picture literally everything. There are some characters that you will hate, there's some characters that you will love, and the twist in the end is just perfect. When they get to the final of the game, it's so satisfying to watch everything unfold. So at the very start of the book, you get an overview of each family that's playing the game. Please focus. There we go. And it'll give you their names, their status, and like a brief overview of them, and you get that for all 6 different couples which are participating in the game. And then throughout the book, if I can find it, I probably won't be able to now. There we go. And then you get to, every month they play the game is a different age the child is. So the child will jump up to that age and they will have to learn how to cope. So there we go, month 3, 2 years old. And you will get that until the very end. Month 1 is newborn and month 9 is 18 years old. So obviously there's a very big jump throughout the book of how old the child is and all the different problems that they can face, especially, you know, in such a short period of time as well. Every chapter you will read parts from one of the 6 contestants, and it's always in the same order, so it's always kind of flowing throughout the book. And I really like that aspect of the book, getting everybody's perspective like once per chapter or twice per chapter. It was very intriguing. Obviously my opinion may be different from yours. I am very much a fan of Black Mirror on Netflix, and this was the type of book which definitely felt like it should be something from Black Mirror. So if you also love that sort of style of movies, TV shows, I would definitely recommend this to you. Thriller wise, again, perfect. The other John Marrs book I read was What Lies Between Us, which was a decent read as well. Definitely still prefer this one, but I will be reading The Marriage Act and The One whenever I get my hands on them. So the TV show that they are competing for is live streamed 24/7, and people get very addicted to watching this show. And they can also every month vote who has to deal with the monthly challenge. Now this challenge is something to do with the child, whether it's an illness or, you know, somewhat to make things more difficult for them and see how they cope with the situation. And then viewers can also vote. They send red hearts or black hearts. Red hearts if they like something that the parent is doing, and black hearts if they hate something the parent is doing. And trust me, there are a lot of black hearts throughout this book. Obviously it starts out nice, simple, you know, they've got a new baby. You get to page 20 and you're like, whoa. It starts off with your mouth like jaw dropped, and that is the theme throughout this book. It's incredible. That's all I have to say. So if you want to know anything more about the book, please leave any comments down below. I will reply to everybody. I could talk about this book for days without giving spoilers. I can't do that. So if you have read The Marriage Act or The One, I would definitely recommend this one, purely because it's in the same universe, same characters, same series, obviously. But also, if you haven't read The Marriage Act or The One, you can still read this book and it will still make sense, because that's what I did. I had no idea. I know it says on the front, from best-selling author of The One, but I didn't realise until I bought it that it was the same universe. but it's very futuristic and something that could possibly happen in the future. Like, this doesn't seem too far away at the moment. But yeah, I really hope, if you try this book, I really hope you enjoy it, and I hope I've convinced you enough to try the book. I don't know what else to say about it without spoiling it, because yeah, they just raised a child for 9 months. It's not real. Like, how is that not interesting? But yeah, that is all for this video today. If you wanted to know anything else about different books, I am more happy to make more videos. I can talk about these forever. But yeah, thank you all so much for watching this first video. I'm sorry if I've been a bit all over the place. I did have another YouTube channel which was for crochet, but this is slightly different to the stuff I did over there. But yeah, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.